nominate Honorable Tajudeen Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
I know what it is like to be the only girl in male-dominated spaces.
Lawmakers celebrate International Day of the Girl Child amidst concerns for the plight of the girl child in Nigeria.
The delay still being experienced in the delivery of justice in our judicial system is highly alarming.
And House called for urgent judicial reform to address what it describes as frail judicial system. You are on to House Tickets, a weekly program that enlightens you on the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Dihelia Mamza. A warm welcome. On this episode, lawmakers give honor to the girl child as Speaker Abbas gives 16-year-old girl shadow speaker. This is even as the lawmakers seek the enforcement of child rights laws, passage of gender bills, end to drug abuse, as well as out-of-school children. In another development, Speaker Abbas Tajudeen receives the new American ambassador, calling for stronger ties and better cooperation between Nigeria and the United States. A report on this visit will come your way in the course of our program, alongside other activities of our lawmakers, both within and outside the Green Chambers. Stay with us for the full package after this timeout.
Hi, Abbas Tajudeen. The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others. You have a new speaker, and I urge you to give her all your support and cooperation while she presides. Welcome, Ms. Isabel, to the Green Chamber and to the executive. I advocate for you.
On Thursday, 10th October 2024, Speaker Abbas Tajudeen, in a unique manner, honored the girl child during plenary by vacating his seat for a 16-year-old gender advocate, Isabel Anani, who conducted a special session commemorating the International Day of the Girl Child. After taking the seat of the presiding officer, with a round of applause and standing ovation from leadership and members of the House, as well as the observers at the gallery, the shadow speaker presided over the presentation of a motion by the chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Representative Kafilat Ogbara. The motion was titled Commemoration of the 2024 International Day of the Girl Child.
The House is worried that the presence of such a vast number of uneducated youth not only jeopardizes their future, but also poses a threat to the nation's security and socioeconomic stability. If deliberate efforts are not taken to address the challenges and be intentional to protect the girl child, the country will be at risk of raising dysfunctional mothers who are meant to protect the home, society, and the future.
Unanimously adopting the motion, the House resolved to urge the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and the National Orientation Agency, alongside other stakeholders, to collaborate with schools, community, organizations, and religious institutions to educate the public on drug abuse dangers and promote a drug-free lifestyle, and to make provision for rehabilitation. also urged the Federal Ministry of Education to devise practical ways such as implementing mobile education units or community outreach programs to educate out-of-school girls across the 36 states of the Federation. Again, urged the leadership of the National Assembly to see to the amendment of the Child Rights Act to provide protection for sexually abused children and provide the necessary legislative support in terms of budgetary approvals to the concerned ministries in this regard, and also see to the domestication of the Child Rights Act throughout the nation through the Conference of the Speakers. Further urged the leadership of the National Assembly to ensure the swift passage of bills that seek to protect women and girls, like the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill. Consequently, the Shadow Speaker mandated the House Committees on Women Affairs and Social Development and Basic Education and Services to engage the NDLEA, Federal Ministry of Education, the National Orientation Agency, and other stakeholders by organizing workshops, creating awareness campaigns, and monitoring progress to ensure compliance.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. October 11th marks a very important day in the lives of girls all around the world.
Addressing the House, Ms. Anani, winner of the Girl Takeover Initiative, a student who has just gained university admission to study engineering, said she envisions a future where every girl, regardless of where she comes from, has an opportunity to flourish, where education isn't seen as a high pedestal privilege, but as an essential tool to equip girls to make important decisions that affect them and ultimately the places they come from.
I want a future where we don't have to combat all the overwhelming experiences of childhood and adolescence alone, where girls aren't discriminated because of their bodily functions and are encouraged when they want to take the mantle in places like politics and STEM, and feel safe and feel like they are wanted. As an aspiring woman in STEM, yes, I'm an engineering student, I know what it is like to be the only girl in male-dominated spaces. However, I don't want to be the only girl. I want to be one of many. I want a future where the healthcare system for girls isn't discriminated against due to the sociocultural factors that so wrongfully exist. Girls are breaking boundaries, regardless of the stereotypes and exclusion, which include the marginalization and living with disabilities. And they are doing so regardless of what society says. It is now my pleasure to invite the Right Honorable Speaker, His Excellency Honorable Abbas Tajudeen, PhD, a he for she, the original one at that, to take over the business of the day. Thank you. House Leader, please move that this session comes to a close and reverts to plenary. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I'm Professor Julius Ihanvere, ON, Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that this session be brought to a close and to revert to plenary. I so move.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, this session is adjourned. Sine die. Thank you.
House Tickets continues with other events during plenary of last week. The reporters compiled is presented from our studios.
Matter of urgent public importance.
On Tuesday, 8th October 2024, Representative Shehu El-Hatu moved a motion under matters of urgent public importance, titled The Urgent Need for Government Intervention to Address Escalating Bandit Attacks in Faskari, Ankara, and Sabwa Federal Constituency of Katsina State.
On Friday, 4th October 2024, armed bandit and bush members of the Katsina State Community Watch Corps, an initiative put in place by His Excellency the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Dr. Dukko Umar Rada, along Ankara Paskari Road, killing 6 members, wounding 2 others, and seizing their weapons. Just 2 days later, on Sunday, 6 October 2024, the bandits targeted innocent people at Balandawa village in Paskari local government, killing 3 and kidnapping some women. The violence escalated again on Monday, 7 October 2024, when the bandits attacked the Puntua Gusau Road, killing 1 person and kidnapping unspecified number of commuters. Further concerned that the situation has deteriorated to the point where bandits now officially provide bank accounts for ransom payment to be made for kidnapped victims. This audacious act shows not only for the impunity which these criminals operate, but also raise significant concern about the security of the telecommunication and financial system in the country.
In his prayers, Representative Elhatu called on the House to ensure a proper condolence be extended to the families of the victims who lost their lives during the attack, called on the security agencies to urgently intensify efforts towards rescuing those affected by the bandits, further called on the Nigerian Army as well as the Nigeria Police Force to immediately reinforce security measures by deploying additional personnel to the affected communities, ensuring the protection of lives and property, urged the Federal Minister of Communications and Digital Economy to investigate the use of telecommunication networks and financial system by bandits to facilitate ransom payment and to work closely with the work enforcement to block such channels of communications and financial transaction used by the bandits. Urged the security agencies to work closely with the local security agencies to improve intelligence gathering, enhance responsive terms, and ensure first responder effectiveness.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committees on Defense, Army, Police, and National Security for further legislative action.
The ayes have it. Please, shall we rise for a minute silence?
May their soul rest in peace.
Another matter of urgent public importance was on the urgent need to expedite action on the washed-out bridge along Numan-Gombe Road to save lives, boost economic activities, and the plight of commuters in Adamawa State. It was moved by Representative Kwamoti Bitrus Lowry. This was on Wednesday, 9th October 2024.
On Thursday, 19 September 2024, and resulted to a total halt in vehicular movement along the axis for this, with adverse effect on socio-economic activities in the Northeast sub-region. Also note that temporary alternative provided for stranded commuters to use after the washout is completely destroyed on Sunday, October 6, leaving no alternative for commuters traveling to and from Gombe State and other states in the Northeast to Adamawa State due to the increased rains that caused severe flooding in the area. Aware that not only has the collapsed bridge negatively impacted commercial activities along the road, it has also resulted in significant losses of humans, animals, and goods, as well as trauma and stress.
The motion, which had only one prayer, called on the House to mandate the Committee on Works to ensure speedy reconstruction of the washed-out bridge, address the cause of delay in completion of the Numan-Gombe Road construction project for the safety of Nigerians, economic prosperity of the Northeast, and the nation at large.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
The motion was voted on and adopted and referred to the House Committee on Works for further action. For motions on the order paper, the House considered the need to review the budgetary allocation of the National Orientation Agency of Nigeria for improved citizens' orientation. It was sponsored by lawmaker Adewale Ahmed.
The existing funding provided for the agency is grossly inadequate to meet the extensive responsibilities of the agency and its offices across the nation. Also concerned that given the prevailing trend of youth restiveness and social vices in the nation, there is definitely an urgent need to implement measures for effective reorientation of citizens to curb vices, reorient the people, and encourage growth within our society.
The House then resolved to urge the federal government to review the budgetary allocation of the National Orientation Agency in line with the current realities in subsequent budget estimates to enable successful reorientation of citizens. Also urge NOAA to increase visibility across all media platforms and put out more engaging content that will project federal government policies to the people and also expose the citizens to government initiatives that can be beneficial to them. Collaborate with relevant stakeholders, including MDAs, traditional institutions, religious bodies, community leaders, civil society organizations, as well as the fourth estate of the realm to amplify outreach efforts and enhance the effectiveness of public enlightenment campaigns for holistic development of our beloved country. Mandate the Committees on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values to conduct a thorough oversight and recommend appropriate measures that will enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of the agency for improved service delivery and report within 4 weeks for further scrutiny. Still on motions, the House also resolved to mandate the Committees on Judiciary, Justice and Constitutional Review to organize public hearings with a view to addressing permanently the delay in justice delivery in the country and restoring the confidence of the common man in the judiciary and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action.
I am here this afternoon to move this motion.
The resolution came after Representative Ganiu Adele Ayuba moved the motion titled "The Need to Review Nigeria's Justice and Judicial System in Order to Restore Public Trust in the Judiciary and Address the Delay in Providing Justice."
The delay still being experienced in the delivery of justice in our judicial system is highly alarming and gradually eroding the confidence of common man in judiciary. Mr. Speaker, the House worry that in some states of the Federation, cases at the High Court, which by their nature ought to be dispensed within months, last between 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered. The House further worried that situations where suspects languish in detention for years awaiting trial, where chieftaincy cases lasted for years in court, leaving communities without head, and where commercial litigation span years in court unresolved, they are bane to our democratic and economic growth.
All the submissions that have
Some lawmakers also lent their voice to the motion.
Over 60 to 70% are people who are awaiting trial. Some of them are in the correctional facilities for a period that is even longer than the time they would have been convicted for if they were eventually found guilty of such alleged offenses. And by the principle of our Constitution, every person is adjudged innocent until proven guilty. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this motion, and I want to urge that the forum or is asking for a public hearing should come as urgently as possible, because the outcome of such hearings may have to still go to the Constitutional Review Committee, subject to the bill being moved and passed in this House.
I am the beneficiary of quick dispensation of justice. I am here today because the electoral law made it possible that after the election, all the cases must be dispensed within 7 months. Previously, you have cases, electoral cases, lingering up to 3 years. So there is no time better than now for this motion to be given accelerated hearing and passed, because people are suffering.
We don't have enough money in this House of Representatives to fund all these outings. And I don't think Nigerians will also be happy that few days after calling for public hearing of this nature, we will also call Constitution Review public hearing. I want to suggest, Mr. Speaker, that we amend the prayer to read that all the submissions that had to do with this issue be submitted to the Constitutional Review. And the public hearing of the Constitutional Review should prioritize this issue that have been deliberated firmly by the House.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye.
The motion was then referred to the House Committee on Constitutional Review for further legislative action.
That is it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review for further legislative action.
On bills, the House considered a bill for an act to establish Federal Institute of Vision and Optical Research Erema, Ogba Egbema Ndoni Local Government Area, Rivers State, to provide for scientific research, development of new technologies and products in vision and optical health, and for related matters. It was sponsored by Representative Victor Obuzo Chukwuemele.
This bill for the establishment of the Federal Institute for Vision and Optical Research in Nigeria at Erema, Ogba Egbema Local Government Area, be read for the second time.
This is an establishment bill. It does not require any debate.
Being an establishment bill, it was approved for second reading and referred to the Committee on Health Institutions for further work.
Clerk.
Still on bills at second reading, a bill for an act to establish the African Aviation and Aerospace University, Abuja, and provide for administrative and discipline of students of the university and for related matters was considered. It was sponsored by Representative Saidu Musa Abdullahi.
I rise to move that a bill for an act to establish the African Aviation and Aerospace University, Abuja, be read the second time.
The bill was voted on, approved, and was referred to the relevant committee of the House.
There is it. Clerk.
During the week under review, bills were presented on the floor of the House. They include Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, Executive, Domestic Workers' Rights Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Akin Alabi, Federal Highways Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Bukar Talba.
You are still on to the weekly legislative program House Ticket, a weekly program that keeps you informed on the activities of your lawmakers at the Green Wing of the National Assembly, coming your way on the parliamentary channel of the NTA. Speaker Abbas Tajudeen has called for stronger ties and better cooperation between Nigeria and the United States. He made the call in his office on Wednesday, 9 October 2024, when he received the new American ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, and a delegation of the U.S. Embassy officials who were on a courtesy call to his office. The Speaker appreciated the U.S. delegation for the visit to discuss common interest between the United States of America and Nigeria, while calling for more deeper ties, deeper cooperation, and more mutually beneficial relationship.
I have no doubt in my mind you are the right man coming at the right moment to turn around the wonderful relationship between America and Nigeria. We wish you all the best, sir, and you can count on us on every support that you need to succeed in your job. Thank you so much for coming.
Speaking earlier, Ambassador Richard Mills stated the purpose of the visit to the Speaker.
Nigeria is Africa's largest democracy. Those values matter a lot to the United States, and the heart of Nigerian democracy is this legislature, is the House, is the work of everyone around this table and the Speaker. So I really very much in my first months here wanted to have a chance to talk to the Speaker about his priorities, about the priorities of the House, and how the U.S. government and the U.S. Embassy can help move those forward. So thank you all. I'm very pleased to have this many people around the table. I have to say, I don't think I could get this many people to my funeral. So I'm very honored. Thank you.
The meeting, however, continued behind closed doors.
The rest of what I have to say, we'll do it in the executive session.
This is where we draw the curtains on this week's package of the program House Tickets. Join us again next week on the parliamentary channel of the NTA as we continue to keep you up to date on the workings of the legislative arm of government, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Stay safe always and do join us again next time. Thanks for watching.